You ready? Grab some food, alright? Because you're gonna get hungry whilst you're watching this. Can you see me? That is the question. I think you can, hold on. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to another full day of eating. I don't have like a specific plan for today, like exactly what I'm gonna have for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we'll just kind of go with the flow. Actually, that's a lie, already lied. I know what I'm gonna have for breakfast because I walked past Starbucks this morning on the way back from the gym and it's cold outside, right? And I really wanted just a nice, creamy hot chocolate, but I resisted and I'm gonna make my own homemade version, which I've showed you guys a couple of times before, but this version is different. It's even creamier because it has macadamia nuts, almond butter. It's just bomb. Oh, also, I have already had a little bit of food this morning. When I got back from the gym, I was ravenous. So yeah, I had some cantaloupe melon. Should I be buying cantaloupe melon in the UK in October? Is it October? Absolutely not, but I just can't resist. And it was a really good, sweet, juicy one as well. Now that the weather's colder, my appetite has changed a little bit. As in, I'm not, you know, in the summer, like I went hardcore on the fruit. I mean, you just can't do that here in the UK in the winter, unless you're just like eating apples, which, I don't know. Is this just me? Or because I've been eating a lot of apples recently, when I say a lot, just like a couple a day, but it's been like consistent. When I eat apples, especially on an empty stomach, it opens the black hole. Like, it just makes you 25 times more hungry, you know? Yeah, eating apples on an empty stomach and swimming. I feel like they're the two like biggest appetite triggers in the world. Anyone else agree? Also, I know a lot of you guys always ask what supplements I take and I don't really talk about it that much. I've always told you that I do take B12. If you don't and you're vegan, then I'm sorry, but you're a dumbass. Every vegan should be supplementing with B12. And now I have introduced omega-3, EPA and DHA into my diet, which for me personally is gonna be very helpful because I have not been supplementing with it. Of course, you don't have to supplement with it on a vegan diet, but if you're someone like me who has spoken about the importance of like omega-3 to 6 balance, and then you also eat like reckless amounts of tahini, almonds, other nuts and seeds, which are all very healthy, but they're very high in omega-6. So for me, adding in this omega-3 is gonna be very beneficial. Don't forget that omega-3 is so important for your skin health, your brain health, your vision, your joints, anti-inflammatory, heart health, the whole thing, the whole shebang. So having a little supplement, an algae supplement, purely vegan, is really helpful for some people. And yeah, the reason I've started taking it is because Vivo Life have come through. They've just launched their, well, actually, don't know when you're gonna see this. So yeah, for all of you that ask when it's coming, it is officially out now. So I had some of that this morning as well. And honestly, it doesn't even taste fishy. It just tastes of lemon. So you can add it to smoothies. You can add it to, I mean, what I do and what I did this morning is just take a little bit in the syringe, squirt it in my mouth, good to go. Also, I know the hair, it's half black, it's half blonde, it's getting curly. It's gonna be sorted out soon, don't worry. Oh, and also, actually, almost forgot, very important, although I did say I wasn't gonna mention this in the intros anymore. In fact, I said I wasn't gonna do intros anymore. What happened to that? But yeah, nut butter review later. Guys, that's all I can say, guys. But for now, let's make the world's best, creamiest, thickest, smoothest, healthy hot chocolate. You ready? Grab some food, alright? Because you're gonna get hungry whilst you're watching this. So yeah, let me talk about the macadamias first. The reason I'm using macadamias instead of the hemp seeds, obviously hemp seeds are great, like full of omega-3, full of protein, all of that kind of stuff. But omega-3s are very heat sensitive, so blending them and heating them doesn't really make sense. If you make this mix, make sure you get macadamias. It makes it creamy like no other nut can make it. So 1/4 cup raw macadamia nuts, a little bit of chocolate powder here. It's just one ingredient, cacao powder, whatever. So obviously vegan. I've got 4 big squishy pitted medjool dates. It's actually better if you soak them because then it just blends a lot smoother. I actually forgot. And it's these that gives the hot chocolate like a natural sweetness, but also that lovely caramel flavor, which, just love. I've got about 3/4 of a scoop of the raw cacao protein powder from Vivo Life, which I'll link down below. This is not gonna be raw for much longer because we're gonna heat this all up after we've blended. And then also a tablespoon of smooth almond butter. And then we're just gonna blend this together with some plant-based milk. Also guys, very important life update. My blender exploded, the big one that I always use, it just exploded. And so now I'm stuck with this NutriBullet, which to be honest, does blend things well, but it's just the size, isn't it? You all know I love to blend big things, but you know what I mean. Do you know what? I left that on for so long, it's like it's already like half heated up. So job half done. Job well done, Miles. Yeah, if you didn't pre-soak the dates, you want to blend it a lot because everything needs to be smooth. You don't want like little date bits in your hot chocolate. I mean, you might. I personally don't, so. Oh, look at that. So thick, so creamy. Yeah, I like my drinks piping hot. So I'm gonna burn the fuck out of this, to be quite honest. If you're a sensible person, just heat it low and slow. This does heat up very fast to your desired heat. Okay, not hot enough yet. Do you know what? This is actually better than the salted caramel one, which I thought couldn't be trumped, but clearly. Guys, this is so thick and creamy. It's almost like a pudding. Look at that. Texture, perfect. Temperature, I think perfect. For me, like I said, it can never, ever be hot enough. Cheers. Okay, even for me, that was a bit too hot. Anyways, I'm gonna go slurp through this, and I'll see you at lunch. Cheers. Do you know what I was just thinking as well, yeah? Because someone just asked me, like because need to burp. Sorry. But I was just thinking, because someone just left me a comment saying, what would your last meal on earth be? And I know a lot of people would say like pizza, ice cream, burgers, etc. Don't get me wrong, you all know I love myself a good vegan burger and fries. But honestly, the thing I love the most, like putting health aside, is a big Buddha bowl. Lots of different colors, flavors, textures. I don't know, I just feel like you can't beat a good Buddha bowl for lunch with some good homemade hummus. So, I'm gonna show you how to make my homemade roasted caramelized beetroot hummus. I did show you a version of this maybe like last year, but I've updated the recipe since then and now it is just supreme. So, the first step when you're making beetroot is to wear black because otherwise you will be purple, so hold on. All right, now that I'm wearing black, step number two, after you've changed, step number two would be, if you are someone that gives a fuck, you could peel it. I am not one of those people, I'm that lazy. And actually, to be honest, I don't know, I feel like the skin of the beets, oh, look at that color. Color though, guys, look at that deep purple color. You just know that that's going to do your insides some favors, you know. I personally think that the skin, I don't know, is the best part. Kind of caramelizes really nicely. You can chop these into any size. Remember that this is all going to get blended into hummus anyway, so yeah. I'm actually making a lot more than the recipe calls for. Obviously, I'll leave the exact measurements to make the hummus down below. But when I make veggies, I always just roast extra because there's nothing better than a nice caramelized, cold roasted veggie in the fridge that you can just dunk in tahini, you know? All we need, a little bit of salt, some pepper, garlic powder, very important. Just takes this to a different level. And a little bit of olive oil. All right, and into a hot oven for about 25 to 30 minutes till everything's nice and squishy and caramelized. And then we can blend it with the rest of the ingredients, the tahini, the chickpeas, the lemon juice. Yeah. All right, guys, as you can see, the beets are all nice and squishy and caramelized. You want them to be slightly blackened because it just enhances like the caramelized flavor when we blend. Chickpeas. Adding in half a cup of walnuts, fresh limone, lots of fresh lemon juice. Okay, this is gonna make a huge batch. I think I overestimated. Generous lake of good, proper, runny Arabic tahini. Look at that, almost the whole jar. Black pepper, salt. Be generous with the salt, guys. And I'm just gonna pulse it like this. If it does need thinning a little bit, then I'll just add maybe a tiny bit of olive oil. Or of course you could thin it with more lemon juice or water. Just gonna go in for a little taste, see if it needs anything else. That doesn't need anything else apart from to be applied to face. Alright guys, so here's the final result. In this bowl, I have got lots of purple, to be quite honest. Normally I use raw red cabbage, purple cabbage, whatever you want to call it, cabbage. But this last week, I've actually just discovered pickled cabbage, and I don't know why it's taking me this long. But anyways, under here, I've also got a head of romaine. I've got some baby kale leaves, I think they were called. Beautifully roasted, squishy, sweet potato. Creamy avocado. I've got some sprouts. Don't know what kind of sprouts they are. They might have been alpha sprouts. Obviously, the beetroot and walnut hummus, which to be honest, the texture is quite thick. I think next time I'd add a little bit more lemon juice or olive oil. And then this is a little mix that I threw together. It is a mix of... Why the f do I do this every single time and think I can get away with it? Guys, you know I didn't make that mix. I bought it in M&S. The thing is, you probably think I'm joking, but when I was filming, I actually thought, do you know what? Yeah? I can pass this off as my own. No, you can't, Miles. It's a mix of quinoa. What else have we got in there? Peas, carrots, almonds, some little black-eyed peas, some raw broccoli, green beans. And yeah, when I made this mix yesterday, I also tossed it with a citrus and soy dressing. Trying to eat more quinoa these days. You know I'm not the biggest grain lover, but in mixes like this, bomb. This does, however, and you knew this was coming, need good tahini. And I think, just for a little kick, some sriracha on the avocado. And happily apply to face. Ooh. Coming at you with nut butter review episode, oh, God knows, 4060 by now. Guys, I'm very excited about these two for two very different reasons. All right, we'll start with this. This is basically vegan Nutella, but the reason I'm so excited about it is because this is from M&S's, well, I guess it's not new anymore. And now they have come out with their own plant kitchen smooth hazelnut chocolate spread. So I mean, health-wise, obviously this is a pile of shit, but pleasure-wise, this could be a thing. And to massively contrast the junkiness of that one, I have got, this is Carly's. Now, wait, first of all, let me tell you about Carly's. You've heard me rant about Carly's many a time because they basically sell raw nut butters. I think pretty much all of their range are raw, but they're very expensive and they are very thick and sludgy. But anyways, haven't tried this one yet, and I found it this morning. This is their organic, raw, whole almond butter. Yeah, which one shall we start with? I feel like I'll start with this one because it can be like a savory main course, and then this one for dessert. I have already mentally prepared myself for a cardio session here because usually ooh, I think I spoke too soon. Guys, this is not that bad. I mean, yeah, look, okay, that texture is absolutely not up to TJ standards. I mean, nothing is up to TJ standards. That is not that bad compared to their like macadamia nut raw butter and their pecan one. Let me tell you about their pecan one. I know I always joke about this, but you could literally build the house with it. It's actual cement. I mean, almond butter, never usually that runny anyway. So the fact that this is raw as well. Actually, before I dive in, I would just like to say a lot of you have requested that I taste test the new Pip and Nut seasonal pumpkin spice almond butter. I'm not gonna do it, okay? They are a rude ass company and all of their stuff comes in plastic and I won't be supporting them anymore. That's all you need to know. Fuck, why won't it oh, there we go. Cheers. Guys, do you know what? For the first time with Carly's, I'm actually impressed. I mean, yeah, the texture could be a bit runnier or a lot runnier and it's thick, but I like it. Onto the M&S Plant Kitchen Nutella. Actually, let's see what they've actually put in this, shall we? First ingredient, sugar, rapeseed oil, hazelnuts, damage limitations, reduced fat cocoa powder, dried glucose syrup, palm oil, chicory fiber, emulsifier, soya lecithin, bourbon, vanilla extract. So I mean, basically it's a pile of shit. Can't go in with celery, can I? I feel like I should just go in for a forkful. Some of you are probably saying, Miles, that isn't a nut butter. Why are you even reviewing it? Look, there is hazelnuts in there, or at least there is hazelnut in there. Cheers. Woo, that's sweet. That is sweet as, bloody hell, that's sweet. I feel like that's even sweeter than Nutella. Come on, let's go. All right, final verdict on these two. I would absolutely 100% buy this again. Is it as good as the almond butter, the raw almond butter from TJ's? No, nothing in the world is as good as that. But here in the UK, we don't have that many options, all right? And this wasn't that bad texture-wise. I feel like if I add a tiny bit of salt, it could be bomb. Only thing is, price-wise, I think it was like £6, which is, I don't know what it is. Is it like $8? This one tasted amazing. Would I buy it again? No, because I mean, it is basically just crap in a pot. Anyways, I'll see you at dinner. Okay, so for dinner I went out to meet some of the Vivo Life squad, and we went to this little place called Lele's, where we basically had a massive pasta fest. You all know I'm not a pasta person, but the flavors were impeccable. We had some nibbles like olives, some roasted veggies, fresh bread, really good bread actually, and also some of these miso glazed aubergine or eggplant boats, which were super delicious. They brought us out multiple huge pasta platters to share, just mountains and mountains of pasta in every direction. First one was some kind of creamy and rich carbonara, which also had some fried tofu in it, I think. Then we had this pesto mix, which was by far my favourite one, and they also produced some kind of bolognese, which was alright, but at that point I had just had enough stodge. I was ready to go into a pasta coma. I was all pastaed out. But by no means am I complaining, because we all know we are super blessed and lucky to be able to sit down and eat delicious food with people that we love, and it was so nice to spend some time with Mr. Simnit Nutrition and Crystal as well. Oh, and they also served us this curry, which wasn't really a curry, but more like a soup or a stew. I'm a bit confused, but it was good. For dessert, they gave us a splat. Yes, a splat of vegan tiramisu, which was just incredible. Anyways, guys, as always, I'm sending you all so much love, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.